Hello everyone, I am back again with the rest of the story. I was discussing with you all the first chapter from your Darwin Diaries. I have already explained to you the first four parts. Now I am going to talk about the fifth part. Okay, so far I was discussing about the tortoises, the biggest inhabitants, the huge Galapagos tortoises. Mr. Darwin and James and the shipmen, they wanted to have a ride on it, but they could not manage it as they were slipping, and this is how the experience were on the Chatham Island. So this now we are going to enter into the Albemarle Island, where they came across a second kind of species of iguana. Again, I repeat, what is an iguana? Iguana is a kind of lizard. It's a Spanish word. Okay, so they came across firstly one kind of species. They have already come across the iguana, which was quite different, which did not develop the hereditary instinct, which popped back to its which plodded back to its original place. Even if you instead to throw it back into the pool, they always prefer to come to the rock pool as a safe sanctuary side of the rock pool. So because they found it to the safest place possible, this is a second species of iguana which they found in the Albemarle Island. Okay, so in contrast to its cousin on Chatham Island, so cousin here is probably talking about the iguana which you have learned in stanza number 4. Okay, in stanza number 4, in paragraph, not stanza, in paragraph number 4, which you have talked about the sea-going iguana. The sea-going iguana, which was probably which did not have any hereditary instinct, which plodded back to its place. This Chatham Island, this was the cousin that he is talking about in paragraph number 5, which he found in Chatham Island. This was his cousin. This is a land-based reptile. It is just an unaccustomed to people as the sea-going iguanas on Chatham Island. This is just as unaccustomed to people. They are not very unaccustomed. They are just as unaccustomed to people as the sea-going iguanas. This is a sea-going. The previous one was a sea-going iguana. Okay. As a sea-going iguanas on Chatham Island, Mr. Darwin watched one of them burying itself in a burrow. So, what was this Albemarle Island? This iguana was doing. This iguana was actually burying itself in a burrow. When it was halfway underground, he pulled its tail. Okay, so he was burying an underground burrow, and when it was halfway, he just pulled its tail. The iguana emerged to see what the matter was. So he returned back, and he wanted to see who is exactly pulling its tail. So it clearly wanted to know what was impeding its progress, and it started hard. Mr. Darwin, as if to say, "What are you planning at?" But it wasn't afraid. It had not yet learned to fear people. But instead of kind of pulling its tail, it did not fear humanity, humankind. Okay, he kept on doing whatever he was doing. What was he doing? It was burrowing. It was burying itself in a burrow. It was burying itself in a burrow. Now, point number 6. James Island was the last island visited. What was the last island? If you are listening, please mark it. James Island was the last island we visited. Mr. Darwin was particularly interested in the finches. What do you mean by finches? Small resident birds with colorful plumages. Okay. So it's a small birds. Mr. Darwin was more interested in colorful resident birds with colorful plumages. Okay, so the last island that I visited was James Island. Mr. Darwin was particularly interested in the finches. Their habits were varied. Some of them lived on cacti and some of insects and leaves. Some stayed on the ground while others lived on the trees. Mr. Darwin had them all sketched. He would lay out the sketches and point out the way they all had beaks suited at their particular diet. Some had long pointed beaks while others had shorter, heavier ones. He sat watching the wildlife and smiled. So the last beach that they visited, the last island that they visited was James Island. And why did they visit that particular island, class? Darwin wanted to visit that island because he was very much interested in the finches. What do you mean by finches? Small resident birds with colorful plumages. Okay. So he had a clear picture of those small resident birds, and he made sketches of it, and he was enjoying the view. He sat watching the wildlife and he smiled. So from this particular line we can understand that he was a nature lover. He loved nature very much, and especially the wildlife, and watching those wildlife gave him a huge sense of recreation, and he loved watching them, and he was enjoying the entire view of it. Okay, so this is the last line, shows that he was a nature lover and he loved nature very much, and especially the wildlife that belong, the various kinds of wildlife which you found there, which is which in probably is not available, which you don't get to see in our day-to-day life, which is only prevalent and available in those islands only. So he made a point to visit those islands just to watch those particular species, and that what he did, and that is why probably he was smiling. Okay, and he had a clear picture about their diet, their beaks. Some had, as the description shows, that he was pretty aware of their species and the birds and kinds, how they looked, the bigger beaks. Some had bigger, some had shorter, heavier ones, and some had pointed beaks. So this description shows that he had a clear picture of the species found in those areas. So he was a nature lover. As we sailed away from the island, some of the officers told Mr. Darwin that they had seen different birds and tortoises on different islands. This has provided him food for thoughts. He calls the Galapagos the land that time forgot. The land that time forgot. I have a feeling it is a land he will remember all his life. Okay. So Galapagos Island, as I have told you at the beginning, it's an isolated land. Nobody prefers to go there. Hardly very few people prefer to go there. So that is why probably you can see the last line he's saying that he calls the Galapagos a land that time forgot. So it's probably the land that time forgot. With time, people have forgotten to visit that land, and nobody nowadays visit that particular island. It's an isolated island. People hardly visit that particular place, and that is why he says that the land that time forgot. I have a feeling it is a land he will never he will remember all his life, and this is what he says, that it is a land which actually I told you that origin of species. I told you, remember Galapagos Island. Actually, he was inspired to talk and write about the origin of species from this particular island. So this inspired him to write this Galapagos Island, actually inspired him to write this origin of species. And this is what it is said, that Darwin will never forget this land, which gave him so many memories, which actually inspired him to write and talk about the origin of species. So that's all about the story. This talks about Darwin's diaries, where where we have clearly learned about his experience to Galapagos Island, what he did in Galapagos Island, the various islands that he visited. He visited the Chatham Island, Galapagos Island, James Island, and he also visited the Albemarle Islands. So these are the few islands that he visited, and from there he has collected various experiences which he has enjoyed, and he had made few sketches out of it, and this will always be a wonderful memory for him, and he will cherish it forever and ever. Okay, so that's all for today. We have completed the chapter, so I will be back again with some question answers the next day. Thank you.